My daughter, 9, lost her mother and her brother 13 months ago. My wife was 5 months pregnant and was involved in a car accident. It was so devastating, but I got therapy for me and my daughter, and she's doing better than before. My wife's family are fine. My brother-in-law Kevin and I have some issues. We've never been close. But he started visiting more often after my wife's death. My daughter loves him, and she loves to do activities with his kids. He came to me after the funeral offering to help. He gave me a list of things he wanted to handle: my daughter's doctor's appointments, school matters, wanting permission to take her with his kids anytime anyplace, and said his wife wanted to enroll her in a specific sport club and wanted her to change to his daughter's school. He asked my daughter to call her cousins, his daughters, her sisters. I heard her several times, and I was shocked. Kevin told his daughters to call my daughter with a name I never heard before, and when I demanded he stops, and after I corrected the girl several times, he went to my in-laws saying he was trying to help, but I'm being cruel keeping him away. They said he's feeling heartfelt sorrow for his niece and wants to help. I tried to avoid him and set boundaries. Last week on my daughter's birthday, my in-laws came and Kevin and his wife came too. They complained about not hosting the party at their house. I didn't see them bringing any gifts, which was strange. Everyone started taking photos. My daughter was enjoying the day and smiling all the time. When it was time for gift opening, Kevin's wife opened his phone gallery and started showing my daughter a really nice decorated bedroom with a Disney theme. My daughter admired it, but I was confused. I thought they wanted to decorate a room. But Kevin said that they turned their guest room into a bedroom and decorated it so that it's ready whenever my daughter visits them. He went on about wanting my daughter to be allowed to come over and that she'll love her new room more than the old one. I got mad and told him to stop. I refused and told him no, my daughter loves her room. He argued that I clearly don't have my daughter's best interest at heart. Called me neglectful and talked about how I'm being unreasonable and controlling. He even said that the room will be for when I get busy with my new wife and dump my own daughter on him. I was stunned. I told him to leave once my daughter started crying. My in-laws told me to calm down, but I wasn't the one yelling. He then left with his family. In-laws sided with him, said I had no right to be treating him like that and that their granddaughter isn't an object that I control, and Kevin did nothing wrong. Although he called me a bad parent in front of my daughter. They said it was his wife's idea, but I don't buy it. They want me to apologize and talk it out, but I don't want to. Especially after what he said, and they were fine with it and said I had no right to keep them from my daughter. Not the idiot, but get a lawyer now. He is trying to get it so your daughter wants to live with him and your in-laws are siding with him. Start documenting everything and keep all texts and emails from them. Do not let her stay with them unless you are 100% sure they will hand her back or you are ready to call the police for kidnapping. Wow, this guy is a predator. He is grooming her, making her feel special in a way that has nothing to help you raise her. He is gaslighting you all the way. You need to cut this off right now. This whole family needs to be cut out if they are siding with him. Start keeping all the records, check into grandparents' rights and protect yourself and your daughter. This is not normal. Not the idiot. And this. He gave me a list of things he wanted to handle: my daughter's doctor's appointments, school matters, wanting permission to take her with his kids anytime anyplace, and said his wife wanted to enroll her in a specific sport club and wanted her to change to his daughter's school. Is super controlling and creepy. My guess it can be used later to prove OP is delegating parenting to brother-in-law to sue for custody. OP, you better get a lawyer and establish some hard boundaries with all of them. I have been with my wife for over 6 years. I have a 17-year-old stepson and a biological 22-year-old son. The family had ups and downs just like any other family. My son is getting married in February. I have put some money aside to help him out as a gift from me for his wedding. I've already talked to him about it and he and his fiancée said they appreciate it very much. My son deserves it because before his mom died he took over her care and spent nights at the hospital with her. He cried many times because his mother's death broke him. I'm glad he found happiness again. My stepson is a motorcyclist. It started off as a hobby. He has posters of all kinds of motorcycles, pictures of famous racers and motorcyclists. He has a group of friends he calls brothers and they ride together and wear some kind of bracelets that represent the group. He always does 3D arts and logos, which I find stunning, to be honest. He's talented, no question about it. Anyway. Before Christmas his mom told me she wanted to get him a motorcycle as a Christmas gift and he'd love it so much. I told her I can't afford it. And that maybe she should think of another gift for him. Everything was fine until Christmas Day while we were exchanging gifts. My stepson received a small box from my wife that had a key in it. We were confused. She told him to go outside and we all followed, and then I saw a brand new motorcycle in the driveway. I started wondering where she got the money. I didn't bring it up right there and then. I waited a bit. I asked my wife and she told me that she took $8,000 from the account to buy the motorcycle. I effing lost it. I blew up on her and asked if she was kidding me. $8,000, that's the money I put aside for my son's wedding. She said that I needed to calm down, but the money was already gone. My son showed up and asked what was wrong. I couldn't tell him his stepmom took the money that was meant for him to buy an expensive motorcycle that I'm sure my stepson will throw in the garage, just like he did the old ones in a very short time. So far he had 2 motorcycles that ended up being damaged. Those motorcycles cost us so much money other than paying for spares and parts that needed repairing. I told my wife she has 2 days to return the motorcycle and get the money back, and she defended herself, saying she can't do that because it'd be devastating for my stepson and that he'll resent me if he knew I made her return the motorcycle. I told her that I was ready to talk to him and explain if that's what it takes, and she started crying, saying I was okay with my stepson's spirit crushing like that. I told her it was her fault for taking money in the first place without telling me. She went upstairs and stayed there the entire night. I haven't even talked my son yet, and it's so exhausting since my wife says I'm being cruel to my stepson. Problem is she says my stepson will resent me if I return the motorcycle. Here's the thing, if someone gave me an $8,000 gift and I found out it was using someone else's money, I would be angry that the gift giver stole from someone else. I wouldn't resent the victim. Take a good minute to think about that. If your stepson had any decency, there would be no chance he'd resent you. Don't feel bad about insisting on your wife coming up with the entire amount back somehow. I doubt you'll get the whole amount back from the motorcycle. Not the idiot. You need to separate your finances immediately so that she can never pull a stunt like that again. She does not have your back and never will. She is okay with crushing your son while providing her son with yet another toy. This is a hill I would die on. She needs to return your money to you. If she doesn't, talk to your stepson and tell him that his mother embezzled the money from you to buy the motorcycle and that the motorcycle will need to be taken back and the money returned. He needs to understand that, if he is upset, the blames rest solely on his mother. Frankly, I would give her 2 choices. Return the money in 2 days, or pack up, get out. You needs to get yourself an attorney and file for divorce. Not the idiot. She should have thought about it before going behind your back and stealing your money. She's guilt-tripping you. Don't give her a leg to stand on. Talk to your stepson, explain the situation before she lies to him. Say that while it's horrible, you two can figure out how to get him a new bike. But this time perhaps you only pay for half and he pays for other half, not right now, over time. That way maybe he'll start looking after his own stuff and stop breaking them. My wife and I haven't been comfortable going out to eat in public due to COVID, but we really wanted some specialty pizza last night. So I looked up Italian places around me so I could order for pickup, and I found this place that had great reviews. Ordered a large pizza and breadsticks that came up to $35. I put a regular shirt and sweatpants on to pick it up. When I got to the parking lot, I thought this Italian restaurant bar looks pretty fancy, even from the outside. There was a big guy standing in front of it, so I was a bit nervous, but what the hell, I'm just here to pick up my food. As I was walking into the restaurant, said guy stopped me and told me no sweetpants. I told him I'm just there to pick up my orders. He kept insisting that I come back with better clothes because after 6 p.m., dinner hours, there's a dress code. I was pretty upset, so I told him, if you make me leave, I'm not coming back. He said suit yourself. So I left, told my wife the devastating news, and got fast food instead. Fast forward to this morning, the owner of the restaurant called me back. They asked for name and phone number when I ordered, demanding that I come there today to pay them for my order last night. I explained to him what happened so it doesn't seem like I go around making bogus orders to mess with people. This guy tells me, yes, but you can pick it up now while we don't have the dress code. I asked him if he's gonna remake it for me, and he said he will, but I'll have to pay for last night's order and the remade order. I told him that's not gonna happen and hung up. He kept calling, but I stopped answering. He left a pretty nasty voicemail, but our appetite for pizza's been gone, and it's Monday morning. I have other things to be angry about. What do you guys think? Not the idiot. The bouncer guy sounds like the idiots. No reason they can't bring the order out to you and have you pay if they are that stingy on the dress code. Assuming you called the order in, they should have informed you of any dress code before they took your order. He's obviously upset at the lost food cost, but he should be more upset by the lost sale because of this own rules that wouldn't even allow you in to pick up your order. That's his problem, not yours. There are ways around it. He could offer curbside pickup, which a lot of restaurants are doing right now. He could provide a separate takeout entrance, also like many other restaurants do, etc. This is solely on the owner of the restaurant. I get that some places have a dress code and that they enforce it, which is totally their prerogative, but if that's the case, then they should have told you beforehand who isn't in sweepins these days, or they should have set up a side part or whatever for pickups. And the extent to which the owner went for one order, that's really overdoing it in my opinion. My husband and I were married for 3 years. He died in a car accident 8 months ago. It was absolutely devastating. When we got married, I took his last name. I didn't want to that badly but talked myself into it. Sharing a family name is so nice and I wasn't interested in hyphenating. Getting used to a new name is weird. I really love my family and they have been a huge support through this whole ordeal. I do like my husband's family, but I was never particularly close to them. I made the decision to go back to my maiden name. Since my husband is gone, we have no kids and I'm not close to his family. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. It's my name, I have to live with it, and I want to share a name with my family who are super important to me. My former in-laws freaked when they found out. They said I was being disrespectful to my husband's memory and to them. They said it looks like I'm trying to erase him from my history. Some of my husband's friends expressed disappointment as well. I think that's an overreaction. I will always love and miss my husband. I don't think my last name changes that. Am I the idiot? Is it disrespectful? Not the idiot, and I'm sorry you are receiving negativity about your name in this time of grief. I suspect they're focusing on this and dealing with their own grief, but because it's hurting you, I went with not the idiot instead of no idiots here. I'm so sorry for your loss, however trite I'm sure that feels to you at this point. I can't even imagine what you've been going through, and you deserve to deal with it, however is best for you. From one young widow to another, you will find that your ex-spouse will have a lot of opinions about how you should live in the years to come. A name change may be just a reminder to them that life goes on even after terrible things happen, and many people resent and resist being reminded. You don't have to be a living monument for the rest of your life, which I think people want when they criticize any widow or widower for changing any aspect of their life in the years after their loss. No idiots here, I mean do what you want. It's your name. But I would also think his was rather hurtful that you did that. I couldn't imagine changing my name back if my husband passed. That's the name you shared as a family unit, it's not about his family. But again, that doesn't make you an idiot. It's your name. So, 2 major parts of my life converged recently and I'm just devastated and question pretty much all my actions, hence why I'm posting here, because I may be acting awful to 2 people I love dearly. So part 1 is Tammy. My best friend since elementary school. She is literally my sister. We have done pretty much everything together, same college, same dorm, roommates, confidants, sloppy drunk mates, you name it. I love her so much. Part 2 is Gregory. My college boyfriend. I love him as well, but we just could never make things work. Had one of those hot mess relationships which are a combination of torture and bliss. We have dated off and on since freshman orientation, all of us are 27 now, but usually end up in flames. I always loved him so much that I hoped we'd mature and be able to make things work. He moved to a different city after college, but we'd stay in touch, send flirty texts and even went on vacation twice. We got along great as long as we both had our own places to retreat to, if that makes sense. All along we both had dating lives, and to be fair, I never told him about my long-term idea that we'd be together. A year ago Tammy moved to a city about 30 minutes away from Grigory. She was having a really hard time meeting people, so I told her since she knew Grigory so well, she should call him and see if he can introduce her to his group of friends. She did and I knew she was much happier. About 3 months after that the flirty texts from Grigory just stopped out of the blue, which isn't that big of a deal because it's happened before, but looking back, I should have known what was coming. Tammy just came home for the weekend and said she was making a special trip just to see me. Of course I was super excited to see her. She came over and she just seemed a little off. First she told me she was pregnant. After we got past a shock and established she was happy in keeping the baby, I was elated to be an aunt. Then she said there's more and this is really hard. I about died when she said the baby is Grigory's. She apologized and said she was so sorry, they had just hit it off, and they didn't mean to do anything to hurt me, and they even tried breaking up for my sake, but they just realized there was too much of an attraction and they started dating. She hadn't planned on getting pregnant, but now that she is, they are getting married. She said she hoped this didn't hurt me, and she always dreamed about me being her maid of honor, and there's no one else she's ever asked. I tried to keep my cool, but I just lost it. I wasn't mad at her, just really sad. I told her that I loved her, but I just couldn't be around her right now, and no way I could even go to their wedding, let alone be in the wedding party. She said she was sorry about a million times as she was leaving, and she texted me quite a bit wanting to see me before she left town on Sunday. I just couldn't do it. I literally cried all weekend. Here's the thing, if I were never in the picture, they make a perfect couple. Perfect. Tammy's brand of fiery is a much better match to Grigory's calm nature than mine. They are both gorgeous and smart and great with kids. If two people should be hooking up to be great partners and parents, it's those two. I just can't help being hurt. Am I the idiot for not wanting to be her maid of honor? No idiots here. This one is weird, I think. She's a bit of an idiot for asking in the first place, but if you guys are as close as you say, of course it makes sense you would be the first person that came to her mind to be the maid of honor. But I don't think that really makes her the biggest idiot. The wedding would happen anyway, so she just wanted you to be there for her. And you definitely haven't done anything idiot-worthy here, you're just reacting like anyone would. If anything, you ex is the idiot here. She knew he was your ex. She knew how you felt. Why would you put yourself through this and even consider it? She knew how you would feel. You do not have to go. And I wouldn't. It's not about being happy for her. It's not about getting over it fast. It's about your health and stability. It's about her going after your ex. Even if not intentionally. And then still having the nerve to spill it all, apologize, and then seconds later ask for such a huge thing from you. You think you can stand up there and watch her pledge her life to him from less than 2 feet away without crying? Don't do it to yourself. She should be ashamed of herself for asking. You need a new best friend. You'll get over this on your own, in your own time. Not hers. I'm surprised people are saying that there's no idiots here. If you two were so close, surely she must have known of your feelings. The right thing to do would have been to talk to you about it instead of sneaking behind your back and only telling you when she got knocked up. Asking you to be her maid of honor is cruel and selfish, considering she knew how you felt.